Hi, my wonderful, dazzling, super awesome students. We're going to be doing our second example of completing the square. I am going to make you watch this, which I know you're like, Miss Long, I got the last one. Why do I have to watch this one? Well, the reason why is because something I did not mention, because I didn't really need to in this problem, when we complete the square, our a value has to be 1, which in this problem, our a value was 1. Okay, in this problem, our a value is not going to be 1, so I'm just going to show you how to deal with that if your a value is not 1. But after our a value is 1, if you understood this problem, I'll tell you when you can start zoning me out and not listening to me, and you can try it on your own. Okay, but otherwise, you can follow along throughout the whole problem. All right, so like last time when we complete the square, we want our variables on one side, and we want our constants, or the things without x's, on the other side. Okay, which if it's not like that, we need to rearrange this equation to look like that, which currently, this equation doesn't look like that, so we gotta fix that. That's the problem. Okay, so I'm gonna move all my x's to one side and all the things without x's to the other side. So I'm gonna rewrite this first since I kind of, messed it up. Or I didn't mess it up, but I kind of like blocked me from doing any math work. So I'm gonna write it again. Okay, so 4x squared plus 4x minus 10 equals 2x squared. All right, so I spot an x, which is not allowed to be on this side. This is my constant side. Yeah, so I'm going to move my 2x squared to the other side. So which one of these terms can I combine the 2x squared to? Oh my goodness, you guys are on it today. It is the 4x squared. Okay, so how do I move a positive 2x squared to the other side? I would, in fact, subtract 2x squared on both sides. Okay, I'm going to combine it to my 4x squared. Okay, which 2x squared minus 2x squared cancels and turns to 0. 4x squared minus 2x squared is 2x squared. Okay, so I'm left with 2x squared plus 4x minus 10 equals 0. Guys, so I still have a problem. All these are not variables. This 10 is a constant, which means it needs to be moved to the other side of my equation. So I'm going to move my negative 10 to the other side of my equation. Which, how do you move a negative 10 to the other side? Awesome sauce, you guys. You do add 10 on both sides. Okay, so negative 10 plus 10 cancels and turns to 0. 0 plus 10 is 10. So now I have 2x squared plus 4x equals 10. Alright, so the only thing we need to make sure is that the a value must be 1. Once a is 1, it's going to flow basically from this part of the problem to the end. It's going to be the same. So after we force this a value to be a 1, if you got the rest of the steps, you can take this one on your own. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this and keep our equation balanced is to force that to be a 1 by doing something to every single term. Okay, to keep our equation balanced, we must perform the same operation to all of our terms. That will keep it balanced. If we don't, our equation will be off balance and will not be true anymore, and the demon cats will probably annihilate us. So we better be careful, you guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what can I divide 2 by to transform it into a 1? I can divide that by 2. Okay, so I'm going to divide this by 2 to force that bad boy to be a 1, but I can't just do it to one term. If I do it to one term, I got to do it to all my terms. So I'm going to divide all of these by 2. Okay, so 2 divided by 2 will cancel and turn to 1. Okay, so this will be a 1x squared now, which you can write it as 1x squared or just x squared. It really is just a personal preference. I'm going to write it as x squared. Okay, 4x divided by 2 is 2x equals 5. Okay, so since our a value is now 1, so a equals 1, check. Oh, 1. Now that a is equal to 1, now we can progress and complete the square and follow the rest of these lovely steps. So get excited. So our a value is 1. So from here, I'm going to be completing the square. Complete the square, which the magic formula we use to complete the square. Since we are math magicians, I mean, we have to have some magic tricks in our hat, right? The magic formula we use to complete the square is this lovely b over 2 squared. Okay, so I'm going to write that. Sorry, I need to get my papers together. So b over 2 squared. Okay, which our b value, we're going to look at the new b value. We're going to ignore the rest of this. This is like it didn't even exist. Okay, we're only going to focus on this equation now. So my b value equals 2. Okay, so we're going to do b over 2 squared, which is 2 over 2 squared. 2 over 2 equals 1. And 1 squared, or 1 times 1, equals 1. Guys, so this is the magic number that I'm going to be adding onto both sides of my equation. And I like to put in a cute little boxy. Guys, so this is what goes in the little box I'm going to add on both sides. This is my box. Okay, which like before I'm out of room. I'm out of space, so I'm going to bring this bad boy up here. Me and me. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this equation, except now I'm going to be adding this onto both sides of my equation to keep it balanced. So I'm going to write x squared plus 2x plus my cute little boxy equals 5 plus my cute little boxy. All right, and my magical box number is this little 1. So I'm going to add 1 onto both sides of my equation. Oh, you can't see that. I'm going to add 1 onto both sides of my equation. Okay? So before I'm going to factor this, I'm going to add these bad boys together. Okay, so this is x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 5 plus 1, which is 6. All right, so from here we're going to be factoring this bad boy, which, you know, I like to use slide and divide. Whoa, I don't know what I was saying. Slide and divide. You don't have to use slide and divide. You can do whatever kind of general factoring you like, or you technically could do the quadratic formula, but don't forget if you do the quadratic formula, you have found zeros, which means you'll need to move your zeros into factored form. Okay, so I'm going to slide my a to my c, which secretly there's a 1 in front of this x squared, so I'm going to slide my a to my c, which means I multiply. So 1 times 1 gives me a 1. So I want to find two numbers that multiply to be AC and add to be B, which my B is 2. Guys, and remember, if I do this correctly, this B over 2 squared will force both of these numbers to be the exact same number. Like up here, we ended up with 2 5s. So if I do this correctly, I should have the same number repeated twice. So let's see if we get that. Let's see. All right, so what two numbers will both multiply to be 1 and add to be 2? Oh man, you guys, it is a 1 and a 1. 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Guys, so technically this is x plus 1 times x plus 1, which remember we slide and divide, okay, which we divide by what we slide by, which is our a. Okay, so technically I'm dividing both of these by 1, which 1 over 1 is just 1. So technically this is x plus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, which like up here, I'm going to write it as a binomial squared. And remember, if you complete the square properly, this should always happen. So that's a good way to check yourself to make sure you did it right. Oh man, you guys are so close to being done. So I'm going to write this as x plus 1 squared. Then I'm going to bring down this number right here equals 6. And guess what? That's as far as we are going to go. Remember, technically, usually when you complete the square, you solve for x. But we're not going to. And guys, since that one was double the fun, this time we're going to get 2 cats because that was doubly cat-tastic. Oh man, you guys, that was great. Now I know you're looking forward to doing this not once, but 2 times to get our circle equations in the standard form. Oh man, that was fun, you guys.